Hi everyone, it's your local emergency manager, and I just want to say a quick disclaimer. All these saints I'm talking about today I consider to be genuinely creepy in nature. I mean no disrespect to those who love these saints. I love these saints. I just want to put these saints out there to be possible patron saints of Halloween. I think connecting the saints to Halloween and its creepiness could be a good thing for teaching people about the saints. And that's why I'm making this video. Anyway, guys, let's get started. So let's start with Saint Quiteria. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So Saint Quiteria's saga unfolds in ancient times. It's a tale of steadfast defiance and faith. She was born to a pagan king, and her sisters converted to Christianity against her father's wishes. When her father found out of their conversion, he ordered the beheading of his daughter Quiteria. Saint Quiteria, finding out about her fate, faced it courageously. She was beheaded, and her body and head were cast into the sea. The creepy part of this story is that after they cast her head and her body into the sea, her body briefly rose, picked up her head, walked onto the shoreline before collapsing again. Her feast day is celebrated on May 22nd, and she's a patron against rabies. So that's pretty creepy, kind of Halloween worthy, but we're just getting started. So let's get on to the next one. So number 6 is Saint Michael. So Saint Michael may not be the first saint that you think of whenever you think of Halloween, but he has one of the creepiest jobs in heaven. According to tradition, he is the head of the army of angels, and he led in defeating the devil and casting him back into hell. But he's also tasked with the weighing of the souls during their last judgment, which adds to his mysterious and sometimes unsettling persona. He is believed to be the angel that is tasked with retrieving souls whenever a person dies, and either taking them to heaven, hell, or purgatory. And unbaptized souls are sadly lost to limbo. Even though this all sounds scary and a little creepy, Saint Michael is also tasked with protecting and defending the faithful. He's the patron saint of police officers, paramedics, first responders, soldiers, grocers, doctors, mariners, paratroopers, and the sick. All right, next up is Saint Lawrence of Rome. So Saint Lawrence was actually a 3rd century Catholic deacon and martyr, refusing to give the treasures of the church to the government. He told the government that the poor were the true treasures of the church. This really made the king mad, and he was then arrested and sentenced to death. He was sentenced to roast over a giant grill on top of hot coals. Tradition says that halfway through his martyrdom, he cheerfully told the guards, "I'm well done on this side. Turn me over." He's the patron saint of cooks, chefs, and comedians. So next up is Saint Agatha of Sicily. So Saint Agatha of Sicily is a 3rd century Catholic martyr. She refused to renounce her Catholic faith and marry a pagan man. It was because of this that she was arrested and imprisoned. She endured torture, including the removal of her breasts. Despite her suffering, she remained faithful in the Catholic faith. But sadly, she eventually died in prison. She is most often depicted in art holding a platter with her 2 breasts on the platter. She's the patroness of breast cancer, rape victims, and single laywomen. So next up is Saint Bartholomew Nathaniel, the apostle. So he was one of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ. He's usually depicted in art skinless, holding his flayed skin in his hands, which is pretty creepy and aligns with that Halloween aesthetic. This is because he was most likely martyred by being skinned alive and then beheaded. He's the patron saint of bookbinders, butchers, leather workers, skin diseases, dermatology, and skin cancer. So next up is Saint Lucy. Saint Lucy was a Catholic martyr from the 3rd century. When she was martyred, her martyrs tried everything they could to try to kill her, but they were unsuccessful. They first tried to burn her to death, but whenever they assembled all the fuel for the fire and assembled it all around her, they were unable to light the fire. No matter what they did, sparks, everything they tried, they couldn't light the fire, so they were unsuccessful. They then tried gouging her eyes out, and even though they were successful in removing her eyes from her head, they still could not kill her. She lived through it. St. Lucy is usually depicted holding her eyes, or like she doesn't have any eyes in artwork, and she's holding her eyes on a platter. She's a patron saint of the blind, martyrs, epidemics, throat infections, and riders. I forgot to mention though, I do believe that she was ultimately killed by being beheaded. But now we come to my number 1 pick for the patron saint of Halloween due to his creepiness, and that is Saint Denis of Paris. So Saint Denis of Paris was the Christian bishop of Paris in the 3rd century. He was arrested and martyred for his Christian faith. After he was beheaded for his faith, his body stood up, picked up his severed head, and walked several miles while preaching a sermon on repentance. In paintings, he is depicted as holding his decapitated head in his hands. He is a patron saint of Paris, and he's a patron against frenzy, strife, headaches, hydrophobia, and possessed people. And that's why he's my top pick. He was beheaded, his headless body got back up, picked up his head, walked several miles preaching a sermon on repentance. I believe after several miles, his body eventually fell over, and that's where they buried him, and they also made a monument there that was later turned into a cathedral, the Cathedral of Saint Denis in Paris. And those are my top picks for patron saints of Halloween. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you didn't like it. While I was writing this, I was like, well, maybe this is a little disrespectful, but the more I think about it though, I don't think it is. The saints are very important to me and to a lot of people, and the creepiness of them can be very beneficial to the Halloween season. I wish I had a big inflatable Saint Denis of Paris Halloween decoration in my yard. I feel like that make people ask a lot of questions, and it's creepy enough for Halloween. And those are my picks for patron saints of Halloween. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you.